All right, we're gonna try something different in this video. I just kind of had a random idea pop into my head where I wanted to make a lure out of styrofoam. So I have two of these cylindrical little pieces of foam that came on a suit that I bought, and we're gonna see if we can't make a lure out of them. It's got like a little slit cut through. So I basically just already had this wire harness made and it fits right in there, and I just cut it down to size. So we're gonna go ahead and try to make a spook style bait out of this. So we're gonna kind of sand down these edges and make them more cone shaped on either end. But we've already got the wire ready. This thing's cut down, so we're gonna start with sanding that, and then we're gonna go from there. So that's essentially what we got right now. I think I want to leave it this way. It's kind of got a longer taper on the tail section and a little bit shorter on the head. And I think that'll, once we get a weight in there, it'll help it kind of sit like that in the water. All right. So next thing I did was go ahead and wrap all these little joints or whatever you want to call them in some 20-pound braid, and then I put some super glue on there so that they're a little more secure, just because I don't think the foam's going to be nearly as rigid as a piece of wood would be. So just want to put some extra security in there so that these don't come undone if we hook up into a nice fish. And we will go ahead and open this guy up and throw a little bit of super glue in there just to keep it sealed up. Pinch that shut. All right, she's all done. We got probably 4 coats of the UV resin on there. Just your standard UV resin off Amazon. And it's feeling somewhat hard. It's still got a little bit of give in a few spots, but I think we've got it dialed in enough that we can drill it out, put some weight in it. We'll paint it, and then we'll probably do 2 or 3 more coats of clear on top of that, and then it should be good. You know what I think we're gonna do is just cut it with a Dremel. I think that'll be faster and it'll give us a better, bigger hole to work with. All right, so we've got 3 decent sized chunks of lead in there. Should hopefully give it the tail weight that it needs. We'll go ahead and fill her up with some baking soda. Okay, we'll add our glue. All right. We'll let that cure. All right, we're going to go ahead and put some epoxy or UV resin over where we did our little patch. All right, so we just put our couple coats of clear coat on there. We're gonna start sanding her down, get her nice and smooth, and then we'll throw some paint on it. Gonna use some 400 grit.
Nice and up.
All right, so we got the clear coat all sanded down, and I'm kind of deciding on what paint I want to do. I think we're gonna go for a mouse pattern just because it kind of looks like the shape of a mouse or a rat. So we're gonna start with white. Might just do white and then just draw on some like details like legs and stuff. So get going. All right, there you go. Just nice and white. We'll let that dry, then we'll start the next coat. All right, our paint is dry. We're gonna go ahead and add some details on. Just gonna use a acrylic paint pen. I'm gonna start with just putting on like a little nose, some whiskers, maybe draw on some legs. We'll use some pink for the ears and the little toes.
Put a little bit of pink in the ears.
So the last thing we're gonna need is some eyes. I think I might put a little bit of a dark spot where the eyes are gonna go, and then the eyes will go over that. There we go. Now we just gotta put our eyes on. Alright, so she's basically done. Last step is gonna be to throw some eyeballs on it. Make sure those are sticking on. There we go. There's one side. And there we go. So there's our little rat. It's got the eye, got some legs, some little whiskers and a nose. Now we just gotta put some clear coat on it, get some hooks on, she's ready to fish. Made it to the pond for the action test. We got our little mouse lure tied on. Beautiful little scene right here. We got a dead goose right there. Some scummy water, some trash. Looks like a great spot for some bass. Might be a little bit too buoyant. Still walks though. Might just be kind of a subtle walking motion, but I do think it looks like a little rat swimming across the surface.